Tim Jace Fox, estranged son of billionaire Lucius Fox, returns to Gotham City after having disappeared for years. Following an attack on Arkham Asylum known as A-Day, the mayor of Gotham City allows a private law enforcement group known as the Magistrate to take over policing vigilantism in the city, cracking down on anyone wearing a mask. Soon after, Bruce Wayne and Batman are nowhere to be seen, and Gotham City quickly goes from bad to worse. With the Magistrate ruling the city and the Dark Knight gone, Gotham needs a new hero. Enter Tim Fox as the next Batman. Today, we are taking a look at McFarlane's Future State Batman. Stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back to the show, and here we are with the Batman Future State. And definitely let's go over this figure, because I will tell you this, I took him out of the box and I was messing around with him, and this just looks fantastic for what it is. We know it's not Bruce Wayne, we know it's Jace Fox, Lucius Fox's other son, and we're gonna look at it. And before we do, guys, before we jump into everything, please follow me on Instagram so we can talk about this figure. I'll definitely be doing a toy photography with this guy because I love the whole aesthetics of where they're going with this story, or how they're introducing more of a cyberpunk era, where we're going into that whole cyberpunk tech noir type of thing. But let's go ahead and do some housekeeping and let's get things out of the way. First of all, McFarlane, thank you for the stand. It's the typical stand McFarlane's been giving us with the DC logo. We've always been saying it would have been nice a Batman logo on it, especially now with the Future State. So we'll get that out of the way. Second of all, we're getting some fists, McFarlane, and rightly so. As you can see, we're getting some hands, which is fantastic. Love the fact that you're giving us this with this figure. I'm also sure that there's a lot of you guys out there that customize, have been using this on other figures, since they're very easy to pop off and put on that. And we'll definitely look into that. And it will be my first time doing it. I didn't mess around with it before doing the video. We'll definitely look at that together. Possible bloopers, can't guarantee it. Now, we're looking at the trading card. And let me know, guys, what you think of the trading card. Is this the toy photography, or is this a 3D rendering? I'm definitely have mixed feelings. Looks fantastic. Love getting ideas when I see the toy photography. As you can see there, it says it, Batman DC Future State. And in my intro, I read to you what the story's about and who this character is. Take a moment to pause it. All right, and let's begin. Now, before I bring the character in, one more thing. Look at the Batarang. What color is that Batarang? It's got that nice, shiny gold. When is the last time we've seen that? Come on, guys. You know how big of a fan I am of Christopher Nolan and Christopher Bale. This definitely has that Nolan effect to it, even the shape of it. So glad to see that they gave him the gold Batarang. Looking at the figure, would have liked it if it would have been the same color on the belt. It's more of like a mustard yellow on the belt. We'll look at that now with all the details. Now I'm going to share with you the little that I know of the story, because I don't have the comics, and I'm actually going to wait until the omnibus comes out so I can sit down and understand it. But whenever I'm in the mood that I want to know about a character, I definitely put on the comic historian. No, guys, I am not affiliated by any of these guys that I mentioned to you. I have to keep repeating that every time I do a video. All these figures I get them myself. McFarlane's not knocking on my door. NECA's not knocking on my door to give me these figures. So I definitely can critique it because I spend my money on these figures to bring them to you. My opinion, and it's sad that in the state that we live in today, that I have to put these disclosure. I think that the transition of this story is definitely well handled by DC than what Marvel did with the Spider-Verse. Let me explain. The whole introduction of Miles Morales I thought was a little bit wacky. I didn't like that whole spider pig nonsense, that robot spider. I didn't get any of that. I really think that they would have gone with a much darker story. And the fact that you used Peter Parker disappears in Spider-Man, and another Peter Parker from another dimension comes in, but he's fat and he's bloated. And it was a weak way to transition to say, you know what, this guy can't handle the work. We're going to let Miles handle the work. I love the way DC did it with this story. Batman loses all his money. Everybody thinks he's dead. He has no access to any of his technologies. Along comes Jace and takes the place of Batman. And I'm going to tell you, he looks phenomenal in the comic. I'm going to tell you, it definitely is a little bit of a ripoff of Spawn, the way the cape extends and all that. But I just love the way the character is introduced in that. I'm going to tell you that at the beginning when they announced a new Batman, I wasn't too happy about it. And I wasn't too happy because we all know it's Bruce Wayne. But I understand the story now. The only thing that I would love for you guys to share with me in the comments, because I can't find it anywhere. We know this is the son of Lucius. Do we know if Lucius is involved? Because my first question when I saw the comic and I saw the figure and I saw Batman, where did he get the suit? Where did he get the technology? Who's working with him? And I don't think that I saw it anywhere in the story, because I saw the Dark Detective. Bruce is poor, living out of a basement, and I'm sorry if I'm spoiling it for anybody. But I love the way they did it. It's just phenomenal. I really, really like this kind of handoff as we enter the whole cyberpunk, which will definitely lead us into the Batman Beyond. So now let's jump into the way the figure looks. This guy, man, I gotta say, I've always said that if you're gonna be a vigilante in the night, you definitely need your face covered. And I just love the way this mask is covered. Love the ears and the cowl. Definitely love that. Let me turn him around real quickly. You guys know that I love a static cape. This one is swaying, and that's okay for me. That works for me. It's a pliable cape. It, definitely looks great. And just so I can say it, this is the second time that I mentioned that there's some Nolan aspects to it. I did it on the Page Puncher's Batman, the way the Batarang is shaped like that. This one, because the Batarang is gold on it. Now, I'm not going to be whining like those other big channels who get the free toy. I do see that if there's a scuff, not a big deal. I've got a Gundam pen. I can wash that in that yellow. Plus, it's hiding behind the cape. It's not like if my animation or photos, all of a sudden somebody's going to point out the scuff that's there. But the design of the suit is definitely very Nolan. Let me explain. Do you guys remember in Batman Begin when he goes into the temple to train with Ra's al Ghul, the ninja outfits, and they had this outer layer? That's what it reminds me of. And the fact that the Bat logo in the front is just protruding out of that. It's not painted on. It's not spray painted like Bruce Wayne has on his Dark Detective outfit. Overall, this just looks great. McFarlane, I love the cape. It's very pliable. Love the stitching work that it looks on it. Would have liked it if you would have given us that kind of the cape of the comic. But it definitely, I know that you saw it and you probably think, man, that kind of looks like Spawn. So again, this is just a whole different animal. I'm only wondering, because I love beginnings and I love how characters get their stuff. I like to know where he got this suit. It's definitely a bluish gray. As you can see, the gauntlet only has 2 spikes, kind of like the Thomas Wayne. I believe Thomas Wayne only has 2 spikes on his gauntlets. And man, I can't get over how great this was. I was not too happy when they first announced a Batman replacement at the beginning. So I'm the first one to admit it. I'm not afraid to admit it to you guys. But after seeing the comic, after seeing the way they drew him, and now having it in hand, man, this is just a spectacular Batman. Forewarning, this is not the first time I'm going to be articulating. I took him out of the box, I put some poses, and I will tell you this. This has that butterfly mechanism in there. It also has that fail safe that McFarlane puts in there that if you overstretch it, it pops out. So you can't extend it, and we'll go over that. This armor doesn't let the arms go all the way up. So this is as far as the arms go. Now, as far as the head, we'll begin with the articulation. He definitely can look all the way up. Look at that. Put him in the profile there so you guys can see that. And put him down. He definitely looks fantastic there. Now, the one thing that I noticed in the comic that he has no vehicles. So he's definitely relying on all the cables that Batman left throughout Gotham to get around. Yes, we all know that in somewhere, I think Harley Quinn or somebody in one of the comics talks about all the cables. That's why Batman gets around Gotham quickly. So moving on with the articulation, we get a double jointed. I'm starting to get afraid of these joints because they've been pinching my finger. We get a double jointed. So we definitely have that. Like I said, you can extend it. If not, it'll pop out. We get the waist articulation. Do we get an ab crunch? Let's take a look. Nope. That's as far as it's going. That's as far back as it's going. We do get a waist swivel. Now, we've got the McFarlane mechanism there. No thigh swivel for this guy. Sorry, Jace, you don't get that. Let's go back to the hand again. We definitely get that McFarlane, and the gauntlet kind of covers the ball bearing, which helps out the character. Let's go back to the leg again. Like you see here, look at those details. Double jointed knees, as you guys can see there. Last but not least, man, I just love how smooth these boots are. There's nothing on them but just a smooth boot. He's definitely on that swivel, but the boot is covering, so that does help with the wear and tear of that, and you've got a boot cut. Now, look at that. So before I swap out the hands, definitely he's being held by the cape. Thank you, cape. So let's go ahead, guys. Before I swap out the hands, let's put the Batarang. I'm gonna pull them off camera, or maybe I can try here. I haven't heated these up. So you guys can, oh, whoops. Guess the hand already popped up and wants to be changed. You guys can see he holds it very well. One of the things that I wish these action figures would come with is somewhere where you can clip on or put in these accessories so you can see how Batman puts them on there. But overall, as you can see, he's gripping it very well. Now, saw how quickly that came off? As quickly as that pops off, you can put the other fist in there. And just like that, we've changed the hand. So definitely this is one of those figures that is great. I'm going to say that this will definitely move very well in your movies. Aesthetically, it'll look fantastic. The colors look great. I love the extra hands that McFarlane gave us. I don't know. I really, really love everything that came with this figure. Love the way he looks. Love the story, how he's, he's out there. And this is a spoiler, so if you want to mute it real quickly, I like the fact in part of the comic where he lands on the street to save Bruce from the magistrate cybers, and him and Bruce just face off, and Bruce couldn't believe it, that there's a Batman out there with his tech. So this is overall fantastic. Like the figure, I'm going to leave a link so you guys can pick this guy up if you want. It's an affiliate link. It helps the channel out. Now, if you like the video, guys, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the bell to get notified whenever I upload. And guys, definitely helps me grow with you. Hit the subscribe button. It definitely gets me there in my goal of becoming a full-time YouTuber for you guys and getting these reviews out there to you. So again, guys, this is the Batman Future State. I have nothing else to say about the figure than the fact that I like him, love the story. My only concern with the story is, where did he get the tech? Did he steal it from Lucius, or is Lucius involved? Because I don't know the entire story. I didn't read it all. And when I say read it all, I didn't sit there through the comic story because I was only interested in Bruce Wayne's stories and Tim's story. And I know that there's more to the future state. Would love if McFarlane from this line gave us a Peacekeeper 1 and maybe a couple of the Cybers or the drones. So again, guys, I have nothing else for this review other than the fact that I like this figure. So leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. And with that said, this is Red. And you know what, guys? You know what it is. I'm out.